The idea of Artfight really scared me at first. Drawing another person's original character was really intimidating. Each year I would put it off and say, next year I'll be ready to join. Next year my skills will be good enough. But this year I tried to let go of finding that perfect moment when I'll be finally ready to join, and I'm so glad that I did. And in this video, I'm going to recap my experience joining Artfight for the first time, and some tips on if you're thinking about trying it next year as well. Let's jump into it. Hey, my name is Jade, and I like to paint with pixels. So, what actually is Artfight? Some of you might be asking. At first, it sounds like this super intense battle, but it's actually just a really lovely art gifting event that happens every year in the month of July, where artists can share their original characters and other artists can draw their characters as an attack for their team. This year, the teams were Fossils versus Crystals, and I was on Team Fossils. I was a little apprehensive about not having enough characters to join Artfight, but I think my first tip I would give is to use what you already have. I've seen Artfight profiles that only have one character for people to draw, and it's really cool to see everyone's interpretations of this one character. It can be nice to set a little goal for how many attacks you want to do, but make sure you set it while keeping in mind how much capacity you have for joining this event. So for me, I knew that I would probably do 4 attacks total. 1 per week felt very doable for me. Before the month of July, you can still look at people's profiles and pick out a few characters that you would want to draw for the month. It's actually advised to do this a little bit earlier than the start of the month because there's a huge influx of traffic on the site for the first couple of days, so it makes it really hard to use. So I saved a couple references of the different characters that I wanted to draw, just so I had them on hand when I actually wanted to start them in July. A quick little disclaimer, I checked in with each of the artists to get their permission to share the process of drawing their characters, and a link for each of their Artfight profiles will be in the description. The first character we're attacking is Lena Lockhart, who is designed by Storm of Shadows. Lena is a D&D character who is a half-elf bard with a College of Glamour subclass. She is also a prime example of a character that I've wanted to draw for a while, but never had the confidence to do so. I'm actually buddies with the artist who designed Lena, and so it felt really nice for her to be my first Artfight attack. I've heard over the past couple of years about her adventures in her campaign, and I just think that she's a really cool character, so I was really excited to try and draw her. I think the portrait practice that I've been doing this year has helped a lot, especially with trying to figure out a pose that fit her character. Part of her backstory is that she is a personal spy for her family. So I wanted the pose to include her daggers, but also have a subtle confidence about what she's doing, like, she knows how to do her job. I wanted to capture that in the expression as well, which I think was the bit that I struggled with the most, but I think it paid off in the end. Drawing pixel art faces, especially with just like the tiniest tilt, is so tricky because any slight change of pixels has a much more drastic effect than usually what I would want, so it's quite hard to do poses with very subtle head tilts. I'm glad I still went for it because I think it feels a bit more natural for a pose. I love her base outfit as well, and it was really satisfying to add all of the crisscrossing elements to her top. Because I was only drawing the top half, I didn't get to capture all of the cute bows in her outfit, so I wanted to include it in the stickers that are around the drawing instead. From this attack, I found that I wanted to try and create a sort of template for myself to make future attacks feel a lot more approachable. So the template is a gridded background with a character in the center in some sort of pose, with their name highlighted in one of the corners, and some doodles and scribbles around it. There will also be 3 stickers that sort of represent a bit of their personality or backstory, depending on how much info is given or how much I know the character. I'm really glad I did this, and I recommend it for anyone who's first trying Artfight to help reduce with the overwhelm of drawing a new character each time and having a new concept for each of them as well. The next character that I drew was of Ceosaur, which is an avatar for a fellow pixel art streamer on Twitch, who is also called Ceosaur. Ceosaur has this awesome underwater theme to their streams, and these little dino characters are a core part of that, having these smaller versions of them at the bottom of the screen for a chat to interact with and accessorize. I wanted to try and incorporate those underwater elements in both the scribbles and also the stickers that I included. So we have these little bubbles dotted around, and these little splashes around the main character, because there's a point redeem for when you first join a stream, where you splash into stream. So I thought it would be nice to include a reference to that in the drawing as well. What's great about this template is that I'm also reusing a lot of the elements that I've already made in previous sprite drawings, but I've adjusted the color so that they fit the characters more. I'm glad that I could include elements like the highlighted text and the icons turned into stickers, because those are elements that I use a lot in my own work, so it's nice to be able to make these pieces feel a bit more like me, because I really enjoy this journaling sort of scrapbooky style that I've got going throughout my work. Another thing I learned from drawing this piece is to work with your schedule, not against it. And by that I mean if you already have time set aside to draw or do some sort of craft or hobby, use that time to do your attacks for Artfight. This sounds really obvious, but for me I was trying to set aside extra time on top of my streaming and making videos and all the other stuff that I do, and it did not work. I already have time where I draw every week, which is on my stream on Twitch, and there was something about it that I wanted to be like a big surprise when I submitted them on Artfight, so I didn't want to draw them on stream. But really the better result that I found was that if the person joined the stream while I was drawing their character, like C did, then it was a really nice surprise in itself. I really enjoyed doing these streams, so next time, the whole month of July, there will be art streams from the beginning that are just for Artfight. I have learned my lesson. The final drawing that I'll show today is of a character called May, who was designed by Crylady. I was really drawn to this design for a couple of reasons. One being that May used to be a pirate, and your girl loves pirates. Pirates of the Caribbean is one of my favorite movies ever, so this was already a given that I was going to draw her. And secondly, her overall design is so good. I love her hairstyle with the bandana, and just her overall color scheme really caught my eye. I've been drawing a lot of afro textured hair with my own characters, so May's hair felt really comfortable to draw. I love how her hair gives such a unique shape to her overall silhouette, in combination with her bandana as well. Part of her personality is that she tries to be positive no matter what, and so I wanted to try and capture her positive energy with her pose and expression by having her cheerfully wave to the viewer. I found that a really important part of Artfight is to go at your own pace. You may find that there are other artists who are doing like 20, 30 different Artfight attacks over the course of the month, and it can be really easy to compare how many attacks you're doing and feel like you're not doing enough. But the saying that I feel like goes around a lot recently, but for good reason, is comparison is the thief of joy. And there's so many factors that go into how much capacity you have to join in on an event like this. Enjoy the process of drawing all these characters, and try not to put too much pressure on your output of how many you actually do. With a couple of adjustments, here are the final results! I'm really proud of the attacks that I did this year. It felt like I pushed myself creatively and tried to do things like drawing hands, which I wouldn't normally try, but I'm really glad that I challenged myself. My goal was to get 4 attacks done, and in the end, I actually managed to do 5, after starting to stream it more on Twitch and giving myself a bit more capacity to join in on the event. And you can see the full 5 on my Artfight profile. I wanted to take a moment to share all the wonderful attacks that I received as well. Every time I received a lovely artwork, I always felt really giddy because I've never really received artwork of my humanoid characters before, and so it was really cool to see my characters interpreted in other people's styles. I even received an animation of Pixel, which I thought was insanely cool and insanely relatable. Crocheting is hard. So thank you so much if you took the time to draw on my characters this year. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to find out more about some of the characters that I've designed, check out this video here to see the design process for Ashwin, and these 2 videos here to see the design process of Hetty the Witch. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care out there. Goodbye!